There are some people who don't believe you should market, right? Florida's a great place. People are just going to come here. And I always say, well, why does McDonald's spend a ton of money on
Mm,
marketing when everyone all over the planet knows what a Big Mac is, right? I mean,
right.
Big Macs are sold
I
all
wanted
over
to,
the
I wanted to
planet.
ask you about that. That's an interesting
So,
thought.
they spend money because they don't want Burger King to eat their lunch, right? Why does Coca-Cola still market? I mean, Coca-Cola is a product that is known, again, worldwide, and they still spend a ton of money marketing because they don't want their competition to take over their
Oh.
share.
So is there a
So that's
competitive nature with Orlando,
Oh my
Jacksonville,
gosh,
Miami?
that's all there is. I mean, and we're all friends, right? So
Right.
I want to put that on the table. We all get along real well. But yeah, I mean, you want people to come to this destination, but you're competing with other destinations for those same people. And when it gets into conventions, meetings, and events, that
Right.
competition even ratchets up more because you don't have to capture every convention in Tampa. You're competing against Austin and Nashville
Right.
and Las Vegas and Miami. So you're really out there fighting for conventions, meetings, and events against other big cities. And, we've grown up. So we're competing with the big boys and girls. We're just not competing with, little cities and little destinations. We're up there competing against some big names.
Why do you, I mean, obviously your effort, this is your entire job, right? But how has Tampa, which is a smaller market compared to Orlando? Orlando has massive convention centers. Miami has massive
Right.
venues to host worldwide events.
Right.
How has Tampa kept up? I mean, it seems like the convention center is always packed.
Yeah.
There's always an event going on.
Well, we're super busy. We have lots of strategies in place to capture the business. So when we're out there competing with an Orlando or with a Nashville or an Austin or a Charlotte, we compete very well. And this destination now sells itself in a very good way, right?
Mm.
I mean, Time Magazine in 2023 mentioned Tampa as one of the greatest places on earth. We've been mentioned by Forbes and Money, Washington, the Wall Street Journal last year talked about what's really helped Tampa become what it's become. And they said marketing and private investment.
Mm.
So again, we're at the top of everybody's list. And so we use that, right? We talk about our people. We talk about our culture. We talk about our history. We talk about what makes us uniquely different from other places, right? We were talking before we came on about the historic nature of Tampa and how you can still see a lot of that history where a lot of other destinations have lost that, right? We do a
Mhm.
great job of repurposing
Yeah.
buildings and iconic locations. Other destinations have not done that. So we really capitalize on what makes us uniquely different in Florida and
Yeah.
what might make us uniquely different from other places around the country and even around the world. We just had a big convention in town. All my colleagues from all over the world that do what we do, plus the vendors that assist them. We had about 2,000 attendees, which is a nice size, but we've had 30,000 attendees for conventions. We had one a few months ago, and we had over 30 plus countries here.
Wow.
And they all shared a half a day with us in our offices, and they were really, really impressed by how we've evolved our strategies, our intelligence,
Mm.
the data that we use. We talked about, third parties mapping out and telling us the economic impact. Lots of other people are not there yet.
Mm.
So we've really become a sophisticated organization when it comes to competing for conventions, meetings, events. I'll tell you a funny story. I was at another convention and we were talking about events that really have an impact on tourism. And I'm in the room with a lot of colleagues from around the country, and the person that's up there is an expert. And he's saying, you know what, if you can get Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and the Savannah Bananas to come to your town, you're going to knock it out of the ballpark. And I raised my hand. We had all three within the last couple of months.
Wow.
And everybody in the room was like, how does Tampa get all three
Right.
within the last few months? And all had performed really, really well for us. So again, it's become a place that people want to come and experience for
Yeah.
all kinds of reasons.
Cat's out the bag for sure. It almost
Oh, for
seems
sure.
like you said, there is a competition aspect.
Oh,
But
definitely
but
competitive.
even without that, I just feel like people would come here because Tom Brady and we're all over the news, thanks to you, obviously. But how did you measure some of those things before this technology? Like, how could you know if an ad is working in Boston?
Back then you didn't.
You didn't?
No, back then you didn't.
Was it harder to get funding because of that back then?
I don't know if it was harder to get funding. I can tell you the only one that we could really, really, rest our hat on was conventions, right? Because you kind of knew how many people were coming.
Right.
Right? You have to prepare. So if you had a Shriners convention and they were going to bring 15,000 people, you knew there were going to be 15,000 people in town. You would work with the hotels on room blocks, so you would know so many rooms were being taken up at the Sheraton or the Hilton or the Hyatt or the Marriott. So back in the day, really conventions and meetings you could really track. Now with the technology, we can track everything. I mean, we really, really can.
Open that picture up. So this is a bus on Fifth Avenue in New York City.
Yep. And the cool thing about
it's
this
a Busch
bus,
Gardens ad.
That's us. We're featuring Busch Gardens. Anytime you see that logo, our logo there on the bottom, that's a Visit Tampa Bay ad. And the cool thing about that bus, I actually got to go see it. You see the snow on the ground there. This was during winter. This thing glows at night.
Oh, wow.
So, during the day it looks pretty cool.
So
but
people
at
are
night,
freezing,
glowing,
walking down the street on Fifth
City.
Avenue. They look over, they see a big, beautiful bus with Tampa on it.
Yeah, glowing. Literally glowing at night. It's like neon coloring. So
that relationship, right, between you and Busch Gardens, do they come to you, hey, we want an ad in New York? Like, how does that work?
No, we're a partnership-based organization. We have almost 900 partners. And, they're really the story, right?
Right.
They're really what we can market to. Busch Gardens, the aquarium, the zoo, the Performing Arts Center, culture, history, the restaurants. So that's what we feature, right?
If you enjoyed this clip, click here for the full episode and make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.